So hello friends, welcome to our channel BISP Solution, and let's start our today's session with the today's agenda. And we have some small topic like location master, inventory screen, formatting rules for the LPN in the RF transactions, right? So let's start with the location master. So what is location in our WMS? So location is WMS represent the storage location in the warehouse, right? This location represent the storage location in the warehouse, and we have the location master. So location master can be configured before all and after all other WMS configuration. And apart from that, we have the location type. So location have a different type depending how they are used within the warehouse. Like we use the location as a active consolidation, and we have used the location as a dock, yard, and drop, reserve inventory, right? So we have the location and that particular uh, type, right? So we'll see what are the different type and how we use in our WMS, right? So let's move to application and well, let's create one location so that we can easily check out, right? So let's cancel out and then so we are on the location tab and we are going to create one location. So click on this create icon and let's start with the dedicated company. So Supremo is our parent company, so let's select our Supremo and we have the type, right? So we have the active, consolidation, doc, right? So we use active for designating active location, right? So active location can only store the units, right? So we can use as a active for location, and we have the consolidation use to flow to assign the location for the destination store. We use the dog to assign loads during the receiving and shipping. At that time we use the location as a dog type, right? We use the yard, and we have the drop hold both inbound and outbound LPN while in the between warehouse processes, right? And we have the reserve and staging location, receiving for inbound shorting functionality for the LPN, right? And shipping location as well, right? For shipping LPN individual. So we have the different location types. So as per your requirement, we can location type, right? So we can select as active right now. And what is the location put type, right? So we have created the for which we are going to characteristics of the item we select in the putable type. So these are the what is the area we have, like define A is the area. You can also mention in the numerical is the A. We define some raw entry so that we can easily identify, right? And beans we have in the inventory, you can also define over here. What is the pick sequence, right? You can also define the pick sequence. We have the barcode, like we have the name is suppose we have the data 789, right? And the same as we have the allocate zone, minimum unit, maximum LPN. If you want to allow multiple stock keeping unit for this location, you can allow for this. And we have the log code, right? You can select our log code over here. So in our today's session, we will also see how we create the log code, and you can assign this log code over this location over here, right? And we have the allow partial pick and the put away flag, replenishment zone, right? We have lots of fields, so you can also define the item over here. For a specific item you can define this location, right? and material handling equipment system we have, right? So now create the location in our WMS cloud, right? So save, create the location. This is our location. This is the display tags 13 A13L A1, and this is our barcode, right? So we can also print a label for this particular location if you want to put on any item, right? And you can also update mass update location for using these options, right? So in this way, a small concept, that's how to create a location in our WMS cloud, right? Now we have inventory screen, right? So we can use some screen to view the available inventory in our warehouse. Build inventory information filtered by the location area and the item code, right? Location area, there is location type, location put type, and this is location area, right? So filtered by the location area and the item code, right? We can filter over here. This is reserve inventory. When we refresh it, some seeded data you can view. We have some seeded data. These are the information about uh, uh, the location type is reserve, and location area is, and item, these are the item code we have, right? Item descriptions, current quantity, right? So we have some more fields like current LPN, allocation LPN, right? So allocated quantity. Now let's click on this current LPN, right? So when we click on this link LPN number, so let's click on that. So it show you some information regarding the item in each LPN, right? We have like shipped type, right? What is the facility name, LPM number, status, right? And we can also allocate and deallocate the LPN. You can delete the LPN using this uh, window, right? So this is the current LPN. Either you can deallocate from here also. So this is a reserve. So you can consume LPN that are allocated, received, and lost status for the multiple LPN, right? So this LPN is also one of the inventory screen, and it allow the lost LPN to be consumed, right? We have the option that consume LPN, and we can approve and reject our LPN, right? We deallocate the LPN from here also, and we have some many more options regarding the LPN, right? IBLPN, inbound LPN, it means inbound LPN, right? We have the options like approve and reject, right? If the LPN is marked for the quality control, you can accept it, you can reject it, right? We can deallocate the LPN, and we can change the pack quantity. We have the option, we can change the pack quantity over here, right? And we have some more options like we can modify the quantity, right? It allow you to modify the LPN quantity, and you must provide a reason code, right? So we will see how we create the reason code in WMS in our today's session, right? So code and log code also we can define in the location and here also. So we'll see all these things in our IB LPN inventory, right? We have some more options like mass update attributes. We can print the unit of measure label. We can update the LPN type, right? So this is a inventory screen, and you can perform some tasks from this inventory screen, right? And from that we have one more screen like inventory history. Inventory history activity parameters, right? So inventory history records the various WMS transactions, taking the informing the EPM or any other external system that may be interested, right? So these are some history of the inventory, like, and apart from that we have the options, some options like enable the auto process, disable the auto process, enable the auto send, and disable the auto send, right? So you can customize this view, right? Or we disable auto process, so it will show you one dialog box, right? And it asking some password, you have to cancel out. The same way we have click on disable the auto process, we have also one dialog box, we have to provide the password, right? So in this way we can provide the we can check the inventory history in WMS, right? Now let's create one reason code and one log code in our WMS. Let's see here. So reason code, let's click on that. Right. So why we use the reason code, right? So the reason code are used as identifier for performing certain transaction, such as modifying the quantity of LPN and some more other tasks. So this reason code must be added at the parent company level, right? So we have to define our reason code at the parent company level. So Supremo is our parent company level. So we are going to create under this parent company this reason code, right? So what is our reason code? Suppose we have the reason code, right? And you can also provide a description for the same, that is data reason code, right? And the reason code type you can also define GDD, right? And you can enable the reason code, right? Now click on save. So the value too large for a column, no issue. We have hardy. Let's check it out. It's created, right? So in this way we can create the reason code, and this reason code you can also provide in our reserve inventory, right? And we are in reserve inventory like for modifying quantity in IBLPN. When we modifying our quantity in IBLPN, at that time we can assign, you can we have to provide this reason code, right? So in this way we can create the reason code And let's create one log code over here. So log code. So this is inventory log code. This log code also added at the uh, parent company level, right? So again, click on this create icon, and now let's define the code. Suppose we have the Tata underscore log code, right? Right. So this is our code and description over here, and this is allocatable. So when we check this checkbox, the LPN with this log code are still eligible for other order location, right? For this order location, and the same we have the unlock on the locate to reserve. If we check this checkbox, then LPN with this log code will have this log code removed whenever it is logged to a reserved location, and you can say the location that does not have any log code, right? So you can unlock on the locate to reserve, right? In the same way we have the allow the multiple log code. If you want to allow this log code for multiple log code, you can check it out, and have same have we have some more information, no issue. Now click on save. So in this way we can create a log code, and you can add this log code to any LPN, right? So suppose let's go to LPN. This is our LPN, and we have suppose this record. So we have is number log here. Here is the number log, and there is no any number log for this particular IBLPN. So click on this number log, and there is no any number log over here. So click on, and this is our second record, and number log is not refreshed. Now 550 and IBLPN and 15141. So let's refresh it. So 15141. Now let's go to here. Right. In the same way, we can define the reason code. So any LPN, if you want to quantity, so suppose IB LPN quantity. Where's the IB LPN quantity? Suppose this is our quantity is not. Select the record, click on this edit icon. Right. This is modify quantity. Yes, this is the reason why we are going to changing our current quantity. Suppose we are going create by one, and the reason code. So Tata reason code. We have to define the reason code over here and then submit. So in this way we define the reason code whenever you change the when modify the quantity in the IBLPN. In the same way we define the log code for any IBLPN, right? So this is about the inventory screen, right? And we have the formatting rule for the inventory attribute is our next topic. So why we are use this formatting rule for inventory attribute? Because there are something sometimes we mismatch of inventory attribute in the system overall, and WMS structure rules, this WMS structure rules uh, around open inventory attribute field. So this give more control to end user for what they are want to store in this field. So this provide formatting, right? When suppose we define attribute A is for any inventory. So this attribute A having the uh, uh, only numeric number. You cannot define any for this WMS, right? So let's check how we define this formatting, right? So again, go to the WMS column formatting rule. So this is column formatting rule, and click on this create. So what is the rule name? You have to define the rule name over here, right? Suppose we define the rule name is data underscore rule, right? And facility. So we have the star and 10510. This is our active facility, and this is our one more facility. So when we select this 510, so this rule is only applicable for this facility, right? But whenever we select this streaks, so this rule is applicable for all the facilities, right? So let's go with this facility. And what is the column name? Suppose we have the inventory attribute A, B, C, right? So under this attribute, we have inventory attribute from alphabet A to O, only A to O, right? So I'm going to define rule for A, suppose A, and I'm going to define the data type, and we can set the maximum value and the minimum value for this data type. Suppose we have defined 10 is the minimum and maximum is triple nine, right? And precisions we can define over here. And if you want to active flag, you can select over here, right? Click on this enable, right? So we are creating the rule for data for any this attribute, this inventory attribute A, right? So now let's select A and click on save. So this rule is not applicable for existing data. The validation will be triggered during the user entry, right? So click on OK, and now let's create one item. Let's check. You can check in this way. Suppose we create one item like uh, Tata rule. Suppose we create item Tata underscore rule. Item Tata underscore item and underscore har. right? So, and let's describe some copy paste it Tata 7490 and what is the cost? 25, length is 10, width is 10, height is 10, weight is 20, and volume is 20, right? And let's define the uh, unit of measure is unit, and this is inventory attribute A. So let's select required and valid and allow user to override, right? So save. Now let's check the validation. So how we can check the validation, like order, order header. Now click on this bulk create. Suppose the order name is 1234, today's ship date. Here you can check, right, the validation of this rule. So this is the basic information, and on the lower part we have to add our item, recently created item, Tata item rule. Click OK. And let's define the quantity one. This is attribute A, and we have defined the numerical. So let's define the Tata. So in this way we can, yes, the column formatting rule failed for some of the column, right? So this inventory attribute A we have given the numerical value, but it is not, we define not a numerical value. So let's define Tata is what the numerical value is. We define 102 triple nine. Now let's define 1000 and 1000, sorry. So let's click on save. Now it should be under the range. So now let's define 998 and click on save. Yes, it's created, right? You can check it out over here. Click refresh. Right, 1254, and this is our facility, and it gets created. Status is created, right? So in this way, we can perform the formatting for any attribute. If you want to define the inventory attribute while creating any item, so at that time we formatting, right? In the same way, we have the UI screen, right? So once you formatting rules are configured, and you can validate and apply the column formatting rule criteria, right? So in the UI, if we create the purchase order inquiry, purchase order and order inquiry, work order inquiry, IB, LPN, in that UI screen, you can also perform the uh, formatting, right? In the same way, we have the input interface like IB shipment, orders, PUS, work order, and purchase order are the input interface. In the same way, we define the column formatting and how we trigger, right? Suppose we configure any input interface, so we have to enable the trigger formatting. So how we enable the trigger formatting? Let's check one time. So we have input interface configure. Now let's click on create icon, and this is our interface type. Either you for the order is nothing but a this purchase order, this is order, and you can trigger formatting rule if you want. If you create any rules for particular order, purchase order, and you can say the input interface, so you can trigger the formatting rule by clicking these options, right? So this is a input interface configuration, right? This is column formatting rule, and this is input interface configuration. So we have done location master, inventory screen, formatting rule for inventory attribute, and we have performed this task. Now combining the splitting and IBLPN. So if two or more IBLPN for the same item need to be combined into a single LPN, right? If two and more IBLPN for the same speed control in the RF module, right? In the RF module, we can perform this combining, uh, yeah, combining and splitting IBLPN, right? So in that way, we have to go to the RF transaction, and we have to select the split control, and we have to scan the LPN that need to be moved into another LPN, and from which part of the inventory it will be moved, right? We have to scan the SKU barcode of the item to being moved to the another LPN. So these are the common steps we have to perform for combining and splitting the IBLPN, right? We will see whenever we reach down on the RF, right? So we have done all this today's topic. So thanks for attending this session. Thank you so much.